please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hello and welcome. You're watching CNBC TV 18 and this is After the Bell. Let's kickstart the show with a check of the markets action of the day. Markets closed just a short while ago. Of course, it was a volatile session on the Wall Street where the bulls came out slightly on the top. So Nifty managed to hold on to that 10,100 mark, but the Sensex closed a tad below the 33,000 milestone. Banks again had a tough day and the Nifty Bank Index closed about 0.3% in the red. Mid caps more or less mirrored the benchmark indices, but let's put this into perspective. Anuj Singhal is standing by to take us through the day's trade in detail. Anuj, volatile day very clearly, but you know, after yesterday, there is some amount of recovery setting in perhaps?
Well, extremely volatile day today for the markets. In fact, at one point it looked like the market was breaking down, then it looked like the market was breaking out, and finally the market did nothing and essentially was in a range and very volatile within a range. But the range was large today, especially if you're talking about intraday moves today, they were quite large. IT is doing well. That's clearly the leadership pocket for the market now. No questions asked over there. FMCG was the other space which did well. In terms of stocks are doing well, Bharti Infratel, Eicher Motors and Tata Steel were the top gainers, but sectoral moves happened in IT and pharma. So IT, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, HCL Tech all higher, even NIIT Tech in the mid caps and Hexaware. Pharma was higher as well, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Lupin all gained ground. On the losing end, you had a couple of oil stocks like ONGC and IOC. And of course, you had ICICI Bank as well, which was down. In the F&O space, there were some big gainers, high beta space generally. So stocks like Reliance Infra, Jindal Steel and Power, Marico, SAIL, BEML and Balrampur Chini all doing well. All in all, volatile day, but the bulls are still fighting. They're defending the 10,000 mark on the Nifty. That's crucial, of course, though the problem on the Bank Nifty is still there.
Okay, fair enough, Anuj. Let's leave it at that. So clear case of consolidation setting in, but let's bring you the big global voice of the day. India can and must grow in double digits. That's the word coming in from former RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan in his exclusive interview with CNBC. Rajan said that 7.5% growth rate is not enough to provide employment to 12 million people who join the workforce every year. He went on to add that India can achieve double-digit growth rate only if it accelerates its entire reform process. Very interesting comments coming in there from the former RBI governor. But let's shift gears to today's highlights from the parliament. It turned out to be yet another session of very little productivity. Both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha were adjourned after protests by opposition parties, including the TDP, the TRS, as well as the AIADMK. Also, no confidence motions against the government were not taken up today as well. Let's bring in Rituparna Bhuyan with the details. Ritu, you've been tracking the parliament action all week. The productivity has been very low in the second leg of the budget session, and it wasn't any better today either.
Let me start with what happened in Lok Sabha. Within 2 minutes of Lok Sabha starting, it was adjourned. Meanwhile, in Rajya Sabha, Sushma Swaraj, who's the External Affairs Minister, made a statement confirming that 39 missing Indians in Iraq have indeed been killed. She confirmed that to the upper house. But after she made that statement, some MPs, including Congress, wanted to have a discussion on it. But many other MPs from AIDMK and DMK reached the well of the house, started shouting slogans, and the Rajya Sabha speaker, chairman, basically had to adjourn the house for the day. Meanwhile, in Lok Sabha, it reconvened again at around 12. Sushma Swaraj also wanted to make a statement in Lok Sabha. She was not allowed. There was a lot of ruckus. You had, for example, TRS MPs demanding a one nation, one policy regarding reservation. You had AIDMK and other MPs from the south, especially Tamil Nadu, demanding some action on Kaveri issue. So the speaker again had no choice in Lok Sabha, had to adjourn for a day, and net it seems that hardly any business will be transacted going forward as well. In fact, there is a lot of buzz that the government might end this session before the scheduled date. With that, it's back to you.
Okay, we'll have to keep a tab on if that does happen and if the session ends early. Thanks, Ritu, for taking us through that. But let's stick to the headline. And Ritu was talking about one important issue that was raised in the Parliament. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has confirmed that 39 Indians who were abducted in Iraq in 2014 have been killed. Now, These Indian citizens were abducted from Mosul in Iraq and were killed by terror outfit ISIS. They were taken hostage when ISIS captured the Mosul city. Remember, they were working as construction workers in Iraq, and they were from Punjab, Bihar, Himachal Pradesh as well as Bengal. Sushma Swaraj told the parliament that the DNA of the missing Indians has matched the remains found underneath a mass grave.
आज मेरे पास दोनों बातों के पक्के सबूत हैं। पहला कि हरजीत मसीह की कहानी सच्ची नहीं थी, और दूसरा भारी मन से कह रही हूँ, वो लोग मार दिए गए हैं। तो जो मास ग्रेव्स थी वो एक मॉर्चुरी फाउंडेशन, महामार्टियस फाउंडेशन है, जिसका विश्लेषण वो मास ग्रेव्स का कर रही थी। तो हमने उनको संपर्क किया था और कहा था कि आप हमारे लोग इसमें ढूंढ दो। तो उन्होंने कहा कि अगर आप डीएनए सैंपल ला दोगे, या तो डायरेक्ट उनके माँ बाप के या सगे बहन भाइयों के, तो हम ढूंढ देंगे। उसके बाद एक डीएनए होता चला गया। राजदूत खबर देते रहे, आज 5 हो गए हैं, आज 8 हो गए हैं, आज 10 हो गए हैं। लेकिन कल उन्होंने हमें खबर दी कि 38 लोगों का डीएनए मैच हो गया है, और 39वें का डीएनए 70% मैच हुआ है, क्योंकि उसके माता पिता कोई नहीं है।
Now, Sushma Swaraj made this announcement in both the houses while she was allowed to speak in the Rajya Sabha. Scenes inside the Lok Sabha were extremely chaotic during her address. The minister held a press conference to express her anguish and slammed the opposition parties for not allowing her to speak in the Lok Sabha.
आज हंगामे का नेतृत्व किया कांग्रेस ने, और वहां भी ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया जी ने स्वयं नेतृत्व संभाला। और आप ये देख रहे हैं कि अविश्वास प्रस्ताव पर जो हंगामा हो रहा है, उसमें एक दिन भी कांग्रेस खड़ी नहीं हुई, एक दिन भी शोर शराबे में शामिल नहीं हुई। वो ये भूमिका लिए हुए हैं कि हाँ, हम तो अविश्वास प्रस्ताव पर चर्चा चाहते हैं। तो आज कौन सी ऐसी बात थी कि इतने संजीदा विषय पर, जब मैं पूरे देश को बताना चाहती थी, 4 साल की प्रयासों का पटाक्षेप हो रहा था, बहुत भारी मन से बताना चाहती थी, उस दिन कांग्रेस ने ये बीड़ा उठाया।
Here's the latest in the PNB fraud case. Diamond merchant Mehul Choksi, who is a co-accused in this case, has responded to a CBI notice and has in fact expressed his inability in joining the probe. He has cited various reasons like health and safety concerns and has said that he can't travel to India at the moment. Remember, Choksi was summoned to appear before the CBI on the 16th of March for questioning in the PNB case. Let's put this into perspective. Utkarsh Chaturvedi, who's been tracking this very closely, is here with the details. Utkarsh, take us to the contents of that letter.
Well, this is the second letter written by Mehul Choksi to the Central Bureau of Investigation. I will take you through the highlights of the letter. He starts the letter by saying that his passport continues to be suspended and he has received no information whatsoever from the regional passport office regarding his travel documents back to the country. He's also said that he's not making any excuse to come back to the country. He says that he continues to feel threatened for the safety of him and his family members, and the people he was in business dealings with also continue to threaten him. He's gone ahead and slammed the media for blowing everything out of proportion and conducting a trial by itself. He also blames the CBI for issuing the second red corner notice against him. He says that the second red corner notice by the CBI has rendered him helpless. He finally concludes the letter by speaking about the cardiac procedure he has had in the month of January, so he cannot travel for the next 4 to 6 months. Now, regardless of all of this, CBI will follow the procedure. CBI will have to issue the third summon to Mehul Choksi, and after that, they will follow the process of extradition of Mehul Choksi in this regard.
Okay, fair enough, Utkarsh. Thanks for joining in with that. But let's move on to stock-specific action for the day. The Reliance Infra stock rallied close to 5% today. This after its subsidiary, Delhi Airport Metro Express Private Limited, moved the Delhi High Court, seeking execution of the arbitration award it won against Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. Recently, a single-judge bench of the Delhi High Court ordered the execution of the award that was passed by the arbitral tribunal. It directs DMRC to pay around 5,200 crore rupees. And look at the stock there. It jumped up right after that news came in, up by about 6.7% by the end of the day. Moving on, we told you first, and it's official now, with almost 1/4 of India's mining leases set to expire in 2020, the government is gearing up to notify the norms for auction of those leases. In an exclusive conversation with CNBC TV 18's Anshu Sharma, Mining Secretary Arun Kumar said that these norms could be notified within a week. Here's an excerpt of that exclusive interview.
There were earlier circulars to the effect that exploration has to be done in time, because unless you have exploration, you cannot have auctions. We found a bit of a laxity on the part of some miners, and so we have moved for amending the mineral concession rules, which will entail that the miners do the full exploration by 31st March 2019, so that there is adequate time for auction of mines expiring in 2020, and that production is not disrupted.
So will that, by when do you expect that to be notified by the government, and will that also have any impact on Goa mining leases since they are now lapsed?
We intend to notify it within a week time from now, because the draft rules had been put up for public consultation. We have received comments and we are finalizing the rules. We hope that it will be published in a week's time.
Okay, several Ola and Uber cabs continue to remain off the roads for the second day in a row. Key demands remain higher earnings and incentives. CNBC TV 80's Priya Sheth took a look at the online cab industry and how driver earnings have shaped up over the last few quarters. Priya, you've done a deep dive into the analysis. What stands out?
Well, absolutely. In fact, in the scenario of cab driver protests, we've decided to take a look as to how the industry really works. Now, looking at the total number of trips that are taken on an average, it's about 130 to 150 million. And these trips, in fact, out of these, about 2 million are through cabs like Ola and Uber. Now, this number is expected to more than double to 5.4 million by 2020. Now, this is the kind of opportunity that players like Ola and Uber are looking to tap. But at what cost? Now, cab drivers claim to have seen earnings per month fall from 70,000 rupees a month in 2013-14 to 30,000 rupees a month on an average in 2017. Now, take a look at the online cab driver versus offline cab driver monthly take home. Data from Red Seer Management Consulting shows that while offline or black and yellow cab drivers earned about 17,000 rupees a month in 2017, online cab drivers saw monthly take home drop from 27,000 rupees in January to March 2017 period to about 19,000 rupees in the July to September 2017 period. Now, this is owing to the drop in driver incentives, which is perhaps one of the concerns raised by protesting drivers. Now, with increased focus on profitability, spending on driver incentives by cab aggregators has fallen from 60% of the gross booking value in the last quarter of 2016 to 16% in Q4 of 2017. However, consultants say that this spending is likely to stabilize at the 16 to 17% rate. Now, it's not easy for cab aggregators to growth versus profitability, as well as driver satisfaction versus customer satisfaction are just some challenges that they have to navigate.
Oh, absolutely. They will have to in the days to come, Priya. Thanks for taking us through that analysis. But talking about Uber and Ola, Uber has temporarily halted the testing of all of its self-driving cars after an accident killed a woman in Tempe, Arizona last night. This is believed to be the first pedestrian fatality involving a self-driven car. Uber has said that its autonomous cars are completely safe and they will cooperate with the agency investigating the accident. Here's a report by NBC News' Miguel Almaguer.
A 49-year-old woman was struck and killed in this intersection in Tempe, Arizona. Police say she was not using the crosswalk when hit by a self-driving Uber like this one undergoing testing. Investigators say the car was in autonomous mode with a safety driver behind the wheel.
Our investigation did not show at this time that there were significant signs of the vehicle slowing down.
This is the first pedestrian death by an autonomous vehicle on a public road. Today, Uber suspending testing of self-driving vehicles in Tempe, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, and Toronto. The company saying, "Our hearts go out to the victim's family. We're fully cooperating with Tempe police."
We are definitely moving much too quickly in terms of getting these things on the road in a location where you have pedestrians, where you have bicyclists, where you have people pushing their children in strollers.
With the NTSB set to investigate, Uber's self-driving vehicles are touted by the company as safe.
No matter their surroundings, these vehicles never get distracted.
While self-driving Ubers have been involved in accidents like this one in Tempe last year, caused by another vehicle, This is the first fatality, but will it put the brakes on what's described as the car sharing of the future? Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.